Down there. Yeah, we're live on Instagram, and we're also live right the way across all of the social media platforms, across Mark Wilkinson Life Remixed, across LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. So all great to have you all with me. Thank you all so much. It's a bit of Monday morning motivation, 8 a.m. Here in the UK. And it's really great to see a few of you online with me. I might have to just change that camera angle around a little bit there, I think. Oh, here we go. Let's get that working properly. Still working out the gremlins with Instagram. There we go. That's better. Good morning. So, by the way, if you haven't gone to streamyard.com/Facebook, then I can't actually see your name. So when you say, hey, Mark, on Facebook, thank you. That's great. Don't forget to write your name. That'll be excellent as well. Morning, Ian. Morning, EJP. I can't see who that is, but good morning. So, yeah, 8 a.m. here in the UK. London is just waking up. It looks a bit cold. I've got my hoodie on again. So it's all good. Sophie. It's Sophie. Morning, Sophie. How are you? So 8 a.m. Monday motivation. Things that we can think about that will get us going on a Monday morning. Ready. Hello, Roger. How are you, mate? It's good to have you on board. So yeah, 8 a.m. here in London. I'd like to think about, Monday is a fresh start to the week. It's time to get up, get ready, get going, get buzzing. I think particularly as an entrepreneur, as someone who runs their own businesses and does their own stuff, it's highly important. Your energy is what you bring to the table. It's what you do, right? So, it's really, really important that you put your most positive self out there and you go for it. Here in the UK, we've got 10 days until the changes happen back to tiered restrictions, etc. But I saw this morning about vaccines and stuff like that. I'm not going to get political about it all. At the end of the day, vaccine comes out, great. If that takes away the fear from the majority of people, then we can start to get back to some sort of normal life, which would be wonderful. So, talking about Monday things. For me, Monday is a state of mind. I used to wake up on a Monday morning. And I'd have to go to a job that I didn't particularly love. And I'd be getting there and just wasn't happy, just wasn't buzzing, wasn't feeling good, wasn't attracting the right people, the right things. It just something about it just didn't fit with me at all with what I was doing in that particular role. And I remember thinking to myself, like, dreading Monday morning. And we all have it, don't we? We can all have that from time to time in our lives where something happens and we end up doing a job or something that we don't particularly love. And Monday comes and we're all like, oh, here we go again. That is not healthy. That's not healthy at all. We've got to be enjoying every minute of every day that we're on this planet. We're not here for that long, unfortunately. That 80, 90, if we're Captain Tom, 100 years, it's not long. It's not long. So we have to make the most of it. We have to enjoy what we're doing, and we have to get up, we have to get going, get focused, and really go for it. So as I say, Monday's a state of mind. There's a great quote from Eckhart Tolle, who wrote The Power of Now and some other wonderful books. And he actually said that you need to learn to accept the situation. If you're in a situation that you don't like, you either need to accept it or you need to make changes. You need to change it. And you either have to accept that situation, accept that job, or you have to change it. And if you don't like it, then the only thing to do is change it. Eckhart Tolle says all else is madness. Think about it. How many of us actually get stuck in that kind of, I've got to do it because I've got to pay the bills, got to look after X, Y, Z, etc., etc. But you're not doing yourself any favors. 20 years as a DJ, I used to get up sometimes, not early on a Monday, but 20 years as a DJ, I found myself just having a really, really good time. Then I had to go into the corporate world because I ended up, as I say, incurable disease and bankrupt. So I had to reinvent myself. But I found myself unhappy there, even though I was earning good money. I was not happy. So a few strategies that can help you. As I said, accept it or change it. All else is madness. Really, really important. And you can't change other people. You can only change yourself. Much as you could try, I tried for years to change other people to be different. To be more like me, more outgoing, more this, more that. What a waste of time that was. At the end of the day, it's the only thing you can change is you change within yourself. But most people don't choose to. They just blissfully get through life, hoping to safely get to death. And, that's not living. There's a great quote in The Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne, when he says, get busy living or get busy dying. You know, that is a universal law, by the way. Create or disintegrate is a universal law. All the things I'm doing in my life right now are just creating businesses, creating lives, creating friends, creating a book, creating create, because that's where the buzz is. That's where the buzz is. That's where you get going. That's where you're like, come on, you know? So many people choose to disintegrate, and it starts with the thoughts. So, you know, you can have a really creative thought, Monday morning motivation, right? Come on, let's go. Right, you know, ready for the week. And by the way, you can handle anything that comes your way this week. I promise you that. But at the end of the day, you know, it's about go. It's about, come on, we can make this something happen. Or the disintegrate, the negative thoughts are, oh no, you know, here we go again. You know, got to do this again. Got to speak to that boss or see that person or whatever it is. So it's really, really important that we step up. And one of my other things as well that I like to say to a lot of people, I was talking to a friend last night. They were talking about being in their comfort zone. Nothing ever of importance was achieved inside a comfort zone, I promise you. At the end of the day, hi Billy, how you doing, mate? If you're in your comfort zone, you're just gonna get through life and, you know, maybe retire and have a few years on the golf course or whatever, and then that'll be it. You know, at the end of the day, if you get outside of your comfort zone, so I like to say, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable is massive. I lived 20 years in a comfort zone. I learned how to mix records together when I was 16. And then I just started to I just kept going with that. I didn't really learn a lot else for about 20 years. I did get outside of my comfort zone when I played Main Room Ministry of Sound or Zouk in Singapore or any of these great, huge, massive clubs. I did get outside of my comfort zones then. However, I didn't really do a lot else. I made some records and stuff like that, but that became a comfort zone as well. It's very, very easy to fall into a comfort zone. It's much more difficult to actually go, I need to grow here, because that's where the growth is. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. When you're outside of your comfort zone, trying something new, going like, oh, God, you know, here we go. But the more comfortable you get being uncomfortable, sooner or later, it just becomes the comfort zone again. Then you have to go again. But that's living, isn't it? That's get busy living. You know, get busy living, get busy dying. You know, it's up to you guys, but I know which one I choose. So really, really important. Another thing that I say to people, I think that's really, really important that kind of gets people going is, you know, will this matter in 5 years' time? If you've got some kind of stress or some kind of aggro, you know, something going on in your life, you know, will this matter in 5 years' time? You know, when would now be a good time to change it if it's not what you want? So, you know, let's get moving. Let's get changing. Let's get things actually happening. You know, it's coming up to Christmas, which is a time to reflect and have a think. You know, to be fair, 2020 has been an opportunity to have a think for a lot of people because there's been a lot of furlough going on and stuff like that. The other thing that I do that I really think would be really helpful for many, many of you, and I'll be honest with you, this is how I went from unable to walk to running 4 marathons. And certainly the story when I ran my first marathon, it was kind of like, you know, if you just said to, you know, 15-year-old Mark, who was like the worst cross-country runner at school and you know, didn't participate and didn't want to run anywhere or do anything like that. If you'd have said to him that by the time he was 38, 39, that he'd have run a marathon and then 3 more after that, if you'd have said that to him, he'd have probably laughed you out of the place. But when I was down, I knew that I had to test a couple of things about visualization and the power of visualization, the power of feeling good, the power of thinking good thoughts, which starts, and then obviously feeling good about it and then acting. So it's about thoughts, feelings, actions, getting it all in line, and then you're massively unstoppable. But I needed to test it because I'd heard all the chat. I'd heard all the chat from the personal development gurus and everything. And I needed to test this out. I thought, you know, what's going to be the quickest way to test this out? I thought, right. One of my friends, Lee, used to come to the Cross. Who remembers the Cross in King's Cross, eh? What a club. One of my friends, Lee, said he was running the London Marathon. This was about 3 months after I'd started to feel better in my body, after I sort of started to sort out the cure of the dis-ease, which is what About Life Remixed is about. Well, as I started to cure that dis-ease in my body, I thought, well, perhaps I could run a marathon, but I've never run before. I might have run for a bus once, but I thought, no, okay, I'll give it a go. And so I used to lay down at night and I used to picture myself, I can see it now, running round by Buckingham Palace and up the Mall and to finish the London Marathon. And that was my visualization, okay? And I visualized that for about a week, and I made a few calls and reached out to a few people. And they sent me a running top and a few other things, and I got some clunky old trainers. But I kept visualizing myself finishing the London Marathon, and I picture it. I can feel good about it. I had people in my mind. I had people shouting, "Go on, Mark!" DJ Mark, and I wrote that all over my top. And I pictured myself running around that last bit of the London Marathon, 26.2 miles, and finishing it. And that was so powerful. Just the visualization of it, because what it did was it moved me towards that goal. So visualization is massively important, and your brain, your conscious and your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between you actually doing it and you thinking about it and visualizing it and by holding the picture in your mind. So I did this. And 4 months later, I finished the London Marathon in a world record time of 4 hours and 39 minutes. But I did it. I did it. I was quite proud. Anything with a 4 on it was pretty incredible for me. So 4 hours and 39, I got around the London Marathon for the first time, and it was amazing. And the feeling of love and joy. But the more important thing was the feeling within me when I went, I know how this works now. I know how this works. And I told you that little story because what I'm about to say to you is basically goal setting. Goal setting and visualization. Now, the 3 things to be looking at are purpose, vision, and goals. Many people struggle with their purpose. I keep getting asked that question, and we'll do more in that, and there's more in the book. Purpose is big. Vision, of course, is what I just said about holding a vision. And then your goals are the smaller steps that can get you there. We've got people watching from the Philippines. How are you? How are you guys? Great to have you on board. So look, what I'm saying about visualization is just think about what you want, okay? Feel good about it, and then create it. Now that I knew the story of running the London Marathon, I knew how to do it. I could bring that into any area of my life. So the first thing I did, because I was getting over a bankruptcy, that's when I ran the marathons, because my body was feeling better, but my finances were terrible. I was getting over the bankruptcy, and I was like, right, okay, so I need to set another goal. And Bob Proctor said, set a goal that's so big that it freaks you out when you think about achieving it. And I was like, right, okay, I'm going to earn £400 a day. £400 a day. Hey, Ben. Ben in Sydney now. Wow. How you doing, Ben? Great to have you on board. Good morning. Good evening. Sorry, it's morning here. Anyway, what I'm saying is that with the financial thing, I said I'm going to earn £400 a day, which is £2,000 a week, which is £8,400 a month, which is £104,000 a year. That's what I said I was going to do. Within 3 to 4 years from bankruptcy, that's what I was doing. So can you understand the power of what I'm talking about? It's like, unable to walk to running some marathons, bankrupt to £400 a day. Yeah. And then just move and move and move and move and move. So when I found myself in a situation, I was earning lots of money in a corporate job, but I was actually really deeply unhappy. I knew what to do. That's right, Dean. Goal setting is absolutely key. So that's the goals. I did the marathon finishing line, crossed it, did it. Bankrupt, earned £400 a day, did it. Right, okay. But I found myself really high up the corporate ladder and multiple businesses and setting loads of things going on. But I found myself in a situation where I was deeply unhappy, and I was like, oh no, how has this happened? My knees were flaring up, and I was like, how has this happened? Because this is what I wanted. This is the goal that I wanted. This is the financial freedom and the money that I wanted. And yet I'm still deeply unhappy. Right. Okay. So I sat down and I thought, right, this is it. This is it now. I need to be very, very clear. Yes, the money is great. Yes, the health is great. But the happiness is just key, absolutely key. So I started to write down, and I wrote down what the perfect day would feel like. I said, right, what's the perfect day going to feel like to me? Of course, you can write down your own, but for you, what is the perfect day? How does it work? Mine is not get up at 5 a.m., end up on a construction site, freezing my balls off, and then not getting a lot of thanks for it. So at the end of the day, I was like, right, okay, apart from the money, obviously, but that was a separate issue. But for me, I was like, right, okay, this is not the perfect day for me. This is not the way I want to live my life. This is not good. It's not for me. So I was like, right, okay, how am I going to do this? So I just wrote down the perfect day. The perfect day consists of waking up at whatever time I like with no alarm, which is lovely. I get 7-8 hours sleep when I wake up at whatever time I like. And then I drink some water. And then I have a little bit of exercise. I've got my little trampoline downstairs, got my bicycle, going to go out cycling tomorrow morning. And that's nice. That's a lovely start to the morning. Drink some water, exercise, and then come back, get cleaned up, and then go and live to my purpose. And that's very, very important. My purpose is up there on my wall. It's up there. It says to bring joy, knowledge, inspire, and create. That's my purpose. Joy, knowledge, inspire, create. Those 4 things are absolutely powerful and are the core vision to everything that I do. So all my companies, I've got construction companies. Many of you know me through construction in the last 10 years. I've got music, of course. We've got 4 property companies now. I've got Life Remixed. I've got Kevin Green that I coach with. I've got so many, and Kevin Green, by the way, a great mentor who helped me with the strategies to get to the perfect day. And we'll talk more about that as we go through the Life Remix samples. There's a Life Remix samples 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. I'll be looking at chapter 2 this time, which incidentally is called Good Times, because there was some. Let's be straight there. There were some good times. But yeah, getting back on there. So the perfect day. That's it. Strategy. Get yourself into a place where you're just going to do what you love to do, in line with your purpose, in line with your vision, in line with your goals. This is what I'm going to do every single day. This is what I'm going to do every single week. This is what I'm going to do every single year for the rest of my life, so that I am pure joy, pure happiness, bringing some love and some happiness into the world. So important to be absolutely clear on your goal. So clear on your marathon finishing line. Clear on your financial goal. Set a number. That's what I'm going to do. Doesn't matter how you're going to do it, and it should actually freak you out a little bit. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's 2 property deals that we're looking at the moment that, if you'd said them to me about 3 or 4 years ago, I'd have been like, but now I'm like, no, come on, let's go. We're ready. It's really important that. And the other thing to do, I've got to say, is to say the perfect year. So once you've created the perfect day, what's the perfect year look like? What does it feel like? Where will you be? What will you be doing? Where will you be going? Who will you be interacting with? It's so important. You've got to have that direction and that purpose to get there. Yeah. But you wouldn't go out in a boat on the sea without a destination where you were going, a compass so you knew what you're doing, and a rudder and an engine. You've got to have all these things in line to be able to then go out there and actually make some things happen. So I hope that's been helpful, guys. A bit of Monday morning motivation, accept it or change it. All else is madness. So, let's go with that. Are you happy doing what you're doing? If you are, crack on, do more of it, feel good about it. Or, is there something to change? If there's something to change, then you need to sit down. You need to have a strategy. Get a coach, get someone who can help you, get someone who can help you grow and move you outside that comfort zone. I've used coaches in the last 10 years of my life. I've used coaches for many, many things. I've got a nutritional coach. I've got a PT at the gym. I've got a business coach in Kevin Green, multimillionaire across the UK. I've got so many coaches that push me on, that drive me on, that get me going, and inspire me. And that's all I'm doing with Life Remixed, is I'm just hoping to push some energy out into the world and say, I hope you find this inspirational. And I hope you find it actually, right, Monday morning, let's go. So look, guys, as I say, I hope that's been helpful. You can handle anything that comes your way this week. I promise you that. We will get out of this in 5 years' time. This particular situation with COVID and everything else, it'll be a distant memory. Hopefully, even by the spring, it'll be a distant memory. So stay focused on your goals. Think about what you really want. If you don't love your job, then I highly suggest that you start to look around and start to think about what it is that you do love, and then work out ways and means that you can get paid for it. But before you have to work out the detail, you must hold the vision. I'll let you into another little secret before I go. I had a vision when I was bankrupt, living in my mum's spare room, 38 years of age, just finished the London Marathon. I had a vision of myself on a stage with one of those like wraparound microphones, on a stage. I can even see it now. I'm visualizing it right now, where I'm on the stage and I'm there. I'm walking back and forth, and I'm just talking to people. I'm just helping a few people. It's actually about 500 people, actually. But I'm helping about 500 people because I'm just doing something with Life Remixed. There's a load of people in the room, and I'm just sharing the stories that I'm sharing with you now. I'm sharing with the detail from the book, and I'm just helping as many people as possible to live a life to live a life that they absolutely love and adore, you know, because we're not here for long. We're really not. And it's so important that we step up and we get ourselves into a really inspirational place. You know, I hope to inspire you. Ultimately, you must inspire yourselves, and I want you to inspire others, if I'm honest, you know, like ripples in a pond. You know, Kevin Green's got a goal of making 1 million millionaires, and I'm helping him with that. I also believe that I'm helping many people with their emotional feelings, their conscious mind, their logical thinking, and getting people moving, getting people strategized, and getting people come on. You know, come on. You know, you've got this. Yeah, you've got this. You're not just your job. You're born to do more than just wake up in the morning, pay some bills, and then, you know, watch TV and sleep, and that's it. You know, you're born to do more than that. If I talk a little bit about how you earn money, and there's a lot in the chapter about in a whole chapter on money later on in the book. But thanks, guys. When you're putting Facebook user, it's coming up Facebook user. So please do put your name at the end of the message, so I know who you are. But good talk, Mark. Keep well. I look forward to the book. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. The way you earn money, I ask people this a lot, but most people go, well, I got to work. I've got a job. So that's what I do. And I always have to smile, because yes, you do have a job, and that's great. Kevin says job stands for just over broke. Morning, Kylie. Job stands for just over broke, okay? Because that's where it will keep you. If you're working for someone else, you'll always be just over broke. Whereas actually, if you step up, you get some training, you get coached. KGW, brilliant organization that I'm a part of and that I enjoy working with. It's so important that you step up and you say, no, actually, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to work for me, and I'm going to do something better. So when I say to you, you know, how do you earn money? Hi, Lorraine. Yeah, the book's called Life Remixed. Life Remixed. It's coming out in February. I think it's behind me. There it is. Look, there you go. It's coming out in February. And as I say, it's a story. It's my story, but it's not about me. It's about you guys. It's about how you can use strategies that are going to get you going. How people earn money always makes me laugh when they say it's a job. I say, okay, fine. But actually, the way you earn money is by adding value and giving service. The more value you add and the more service you provide, then the more money you are worth. The more responsibility you take, the more value you add. The more you get motivated, the more you move up the ladder. If you want to move up the ladder in your job, that's great. If you want to leave that and you want to be entrepreneurial, also great. Just learn to add value and give great service. People pay money for great service. When you're giving a great service, they will pay you more. Think about it, guys. Really, really think about it. It's so important, okay? Remember what I said. All else is madness. You have to accept the situation or change it. I've given you a couple of strategies this morning on how to change it. Write down your goals. What's the perfect day? What's the perfect year? Excuse me. How do you feel about it? Get motivated, read books, study, get knowledge, get understanding, and then make your move. Simple as that. So big love to everyone over there on Instagram. Hopefully Instagram will come into StreamYard one day and I'll be able to look at both of you. But as I say, good morning to the world. These videos are all online. You can watch them back wherever you are. I'll be back tomorrow evening. I'm going to be back tomorrow evening with Life Remix Samples, chapter 2 tomorrow night. So chapter 1 we did last week. Another one, Bites the Dust, was all about the collapse that I had. Chapter 2 tomorrow night is good times, because as a DJ at Ministry of Sound when I was a kid, there was some good times. I promise you that there was some good times. So we have to document all of that. Morning, Christian. Morning, Ian. Thanks, mate, for being here. Morning, Christian. First listen, couldn't be better time of a morning that feels as though it has a personal cloud over it. It's all right, Christian. I get it, mate. I get it. You know, the bottom line is that, you know, we can all wake up sometimes if we're not feeling great and we look outside, particularly in the UK, it's a bit grey and we're like, you know, it's so important. It's so important that we don't have that. We wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning and I bounce out of bed. I'm like, come on, here we go. Let's get moving. Before I go, I'll explain that as well, right? It's so important. I think it was Mark Twain said, the purpose of life is a life of purpose. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. Now, when I asked, as many of you, we're getting 500 people viewing across all of the platforms on every video. Okay, if I ask every single one of you, what is your purpose? The majority of you will not have an answer for me. It's just one of those facts. The majority of you, when I say, what is your purpose? What is your why? Why are you here on this planet? The majority of you will not have an answer. That's okay, by the way. Yeah, nobody judges you. No one's judging you. Great quote: observation is power, judgment is weakness. Don't judge yourself or anyone else. But just remember, when I ask you throughout today, think about what your purpose is. Why are you here on this planet? I'll explain to you how important it is. That's your destination. That's your journey, but it's also your destination. It's where you're going to end up. If you don't know where you're going to end up, then what are you doing? You have to think about where you're going to be. What's the end goal? Always start with the end in mind. So what's the end goal? Now, mine was joy. I love to bring joy to all of you and to myself, of course. And I did that through DJing almost by accident for 20 years. I never knew. But at the end of the day, I loved that feeling. So that was DJing. That was great. So I love to bring joy. But then I was like, well, hang on a minute. It's got to be more than that. So it's got to be knowledge, inspire, and create. It's up there on the wall. Like I said, joy, knowledge, inspire, create. Excuse me. Those 4 things are massively important because they are my purpose. And that's how I bounce out of bed every morning, because I live my life on purpose. If you would like to go and sit in a pub and drink loads of alcohol and moan about your partner or your job or anything like that, then of course, as a friend, I'd be there and I'd be saying, are you okay? Is there anything I can do? And I would try and reframe it for you. I'd try and put you in a more positive vibe. I'd say to you, hang on a minute, let's try and get things better and blah, blah, blah. But if you're not buying into it, and if I can't be any positive effect, if I can't bring any joy, knowledge, inspire, create to the situation, then I have to excuse myself and leave you to it. Now, some people would say that was harsh. I understand that. But actually, for me, it's not on my purpose. My purpose is up there. I have to be I'm living my purpose right now. And I've got a load of things to do today for my businesses and property deals and all sorts of stuff we're doing. And it's all on purpose. Every single part of it is on purpose. So what's your purpose? Why do you do it? And you can jump out of bed every morning. Once you're on purpose, you can jump out of bed every morning and be like, right, what are we going to do today? Come on. It's up to you guys. It's truly, truly, truly up to you. Morning, Leighton. Nice to have you with us. Look, guys, I'm here for you. If you need to have a chat or you need to have a shout, then do it. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 7:30 p.m. for Life Remix Samples. We're doing chapter 2. And then Wednesday evening, I've got a wonderful, wonderful guest in interview. I've got relationship expert Dimple Thakrar. She's very close to Tony Robbins in the Platinum Group with Tony. And we're going to have a massive and excellent delve into relationships. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to delve into relationships. We're going to delve into the masculine and the feminine. This is all Wednesday evening here in the UK at 7:30 p.m. By the way, you can watch all of these videos back on the YouTube channel. So they're all there. Just go Mark Wilkinson Official on youtube.com. Plus, of course, you've got at Life Remix book across all of the socials. You've got markwilkinsonofficial.com. We've got some free giveaways at markwilkinsonofficial.com. If you're feeling a little bit, rudderless or directionless or purposeless, is that a word? Today, go to markwilkinsonofficial.com and sign up. If you go to markwilkinsonofficial.com and sign up, then you can get three free downloads, which can give you a more balanced life. And I can talk you through those on another call. Good morning, Brian Miller. Wonderful. So good to have you here this morning, Brian. You are partially responsible. You are for, you're the man that gave me the DVD of The Secret when I could barely walk. Some 15, maybe even getting up near 20 years ago. But you gave me that DVD. Do you remember? Gave me that DVD of The Secret, and you asked me to watch it once, or you gave it to me and I watched it once. And I brought it back downstairs in Covey Hugh House, and I gave it back to you, and I said, "Yep, got it. Thanks very much." And you gave it back to me, and you said, "Watch it 100 times, Mark." I'll never forget it. I looked at your face, and you were serious, and I was like, 100 times? 100 times to watch a film? Okay. But I did, Brian. I watched that film 100 times, and I also started reading all these amazing books and learning all this great stuff, and kept connecting with you. And again, I've tried to finish this talk a few times, but we've got so many people interacting. It's wonderful to have so many of you here. But here's a little story from the book as well. about visualization. Okay. Visualization is everything. And there was a little moment in my life when I had to ring Brian Miller back up. God bless you, Brian. I love you, mate. Brian told me about the power of visualization. He got me watching The Secret, which has started opening my eyes. But I was still unable to get out of a chair. I was really struggling to stand up and walk around. And we had a session together. You remember, Brian? And I couldn't get out of the chair because my legs were so frozen. My body was in so much pain. I was just all over the shop. And then you said, you almost in my face going, come on, get up. And I couldn't do it. And then you said, right, stop. And you said, okay, now visualize yourself as a strong marathon runner. Oh, actually, no, you didn't. You said visualize yourself as a strong guy standing up, getting yourself to a point where you are absolutely like tip top, here we go. Yeah. And you said that to me, you made me visualize it. And I sat there and I visualized it, and you were in my face, but you said, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? And I said, a yellow top. The yellow top story. I said, I'm wearing a yellow top, and I visualized it. And you made me stand up out of the chair, even though I was creaking, and I got up and I stood up out of the chair, and I just stood there, and I was still in agony, but I visualized it all the time. Fast forward 2 years or so, maybe 3 years, longer, maybe even like 3 or 4 or 5 years, even. Maybe a few years later. Anyway, 2, 3, 4 years. Fast forward, I had a picture of myself taken when I crossed the finishing line of the London Marathon. So I crossed the finish line, and I'm standing there. I've got my medal. It's over there. I've got my 2009 London Marathon medal. Absolutely over the moon. I was literally standing like that, looking not too bad after I just run 26.2 miles. And I remember getting the picture through, and I got the picture through a few days later after the marathon. And I looked at the picture, and the penny just dropped, and I was just like, oh. And I actually rang Brian up, and I said, Brian, listen. I said, something's happened. I understand even more now. And I rang him up. I said, I've just got this picture of me finishing the London Marathon, and I'm wearing a yellow top. Getting goosebumps telling you that story. It's not an accident. It's not an accident. It's so important for you guys to visualize what it is that you would really love to be doing. Yeah, that's the Monday motivation for you. Right, lots of love. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm back tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. We'll be talking about chapter 2 of the book. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Do share the videos, invite other people. Look, I'm just here to help you guys and get you all smiling and feeling good about yourselves. Purpose, vision, and goals. Lots of love. Cheers, guys.